Brezza, the city-bred SUV.
The last time RCB won 4 in a row, AB de Villiers was still batting for them. It's been a while, but wow, are they timing their run well. They keep themselves alive just about in the race to the playoffs while knocking Punjab Kings out of contention with a 60-run win in Dharamsala. We look back on that on ESPN Cricket 4 Timeout. Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket 4 Timeout, powered by JBL. Mitch McClenaghan and Shashank Kishore have slotted in already. Dasgupta will be allowed a late entry after he finishes off comms. Straightforward by the end result, but till the time Riley Russo was batting, it did look like Punjab could make a match out of it.
Yeah, Riley Russo and Johnny Bairstow were going nicely at one point, weren't they? And Riley Russo in particular struck the ball back at his devastating best, I feel. I think the last 3 or 4 fixtures for him, barring when he first came in and got that duck, he's actually looked very good, which has been contrary to his form probably over the last 12 months. So it looked like when he was at the crease, there was a strong chance that they could push for this total, particularly seeing the fact that they obviously decided that they didn't need the extra bowling, they didn't need the bowling experience, and thought that they would stack their batting. And with the batting to come, you would have thought, with the game plan they came in with, they would have been able to challenge it after that start.
Shashank?
They were very much in contention, but I just wonder tactically, even with the bat, I mean, we've spoken a lot about how they got their team selection wrong, but someone like Ashutosh made a name for himself, with lower order hitting, but somehow they just don't seem to trust him enough to bat ahead of the at number 5 or number 6. I mean, you saw they've done that with Shashank and he's delivered for them. Jitesh Sharma has been in awful form, but he gets promoted up the order. Livingston, who hasn't played a lot of games in the recent past, comes in ahead of Ashutosh again. So I wonder if there was probably a case of Ashutosh going ahead to keep that momentum going just because he's in form. But over the last 3-4 games, they haven't done that. So maybe they got that a little wrong and that completely derailed them of momentum going into the final 5 overs.
Yeah, I think on that point, I think the reason being is that I think they've probably found out in the last few games that Ashutosh is susceptible to high pace, and RCB today had high pace, and any high pace coming in at the body, he seemed to struggle unless he's premeditated that it's going to be short, and then he can play that Surya type pull shot. So that's why we saw him getting stuck on the crease to Siraj today. He's just not as confident when in that middle phase where your seamers can hit back of a length a little bit more often than they would if they were going fuller or changing the paces towards the end. So my answer your question, and I think at that point, I think Jitesh, yes, you can probably contend that could be a contentious one in terms of the form of the two, but I think probably at that point they thought Livingston is the kind of guy that could get you 80 or 40 and win you the game potentially.
Yes, you saw Ashutosh getting hit on the body first ball, I think,
yes,
right?
Yeah, from high pace. And it's been a tactic we've seen played out to him in the last couple of fixtures.
Yes, we will revisit some of a lot of the tactical calls from Punjab, but let's first show you the points table, because this is a result of significance. Punjab Kings now join Mumbai Indians as the only 2 sides who are no longer in contention for a spot in the playoffs. They can reach a maximum of 12, which will not be enough. RCB, though, get themselves closer to that logjam. They are on 10 points with 2 games still to play, and this on the back of 4 back-to-back wins. This is a side that had won only 1 of their first 8, but now Shashank 4 in a row, and they can still dream.
With DC and CSK coming up, 2 big games. That game also could be a potential knockout because that will ensure that only one of the 2 can get to 14 points. So they've got another knockout game coming up. But they'll, more than anything else, they'll be hoping Gujarat Titans do them a massive favor tomorrow by beating the Chennai Super Kings.
Yes, it's almost been a magical few weeks for RCB, and by similar magic, Dasgupta has arrived. Welcome to the show, and quick thoughts from you on that Punjab batting, which till the time Russo was there, it looked like we have a chase on.
Yeah, I mean, straight after the break, that injury break, that first ball, good delivery, but lapse of concentration, call it whatever, that was thing. And I was listening to you guys, and I thought, Sam Curran in place of Liam Livingstone, a left-hander in, while both the spinners were bowling. I thought maybe Mr. Trick there. I thought, get in Sam Curran, so chances are Swapnil will not bowl then. Spinners also would be a little wary, left-hand, right-hand combination and stuff like that. Yeah, right through, starting from the playing 11, right through the innings, there are quite a few decisions which are quite debatable.
All right. Shashank, you brought up some of the batting moves. Is it also worth bringing up Jitesh Sharma? He came in as their impact sub.
Yeah.
This now is a season which, considering when the season began, Jitesh Sharma was almost a contender for the Indian World Cup squad. Now, 10 innings later, it's just not worked for him.
It hasn't. And the shot selection, again, if you look at that particular shot that he got out to, is trying to hit square leg rather than mid-wicket. Same shot, I think, the next over, Shashank hit over mid-wicket for a 6. Same length, everything was the same line. So at times, obviously, he's trying hard, he's a good player. He does feel that pressure of, he started off as one of the contenders and one of the, leading contenders for that World Cup slot. But then, I guess at times, I can understand and I feel his issue as well, because when you're there in the fringes, it's like a quicksand. The harder you try, you get sunk into that, quicksand, and I can feel for him. But you know what? He needs to just go back and just go back to the basics and go back to what was working for him for the last year and a half.
We're also going to invite your questions and thoughts, so keep sending them in on our YouTube Live, and we'll put that across to the panel. I can see a few coming in already, but before we move in that direction, must appreciate the RCB spinners on a day where Punjab notably kept their informed spinner away. The RCB spinners, Swapnil Singh and Karan Sharma, both done a job, taken wickets, not just how RCB backed them, but also how they've performed on the day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Swapnil has taken crucial wickets in the power play the last couple of games. He's been impressive at the top, and it's nice to have a left-hand option spinner in the power play. And then since Khan has come back in, probably from the start of the season, where it's kind of one of those ones where he got dropped and then he's come back in, and since he's come back in, he's been impressive. He's really added something to their lineup and an attacking option during that middle phase. And yes, at times he's gone for runs, but he's also bowled a lot of wicket-taking deliveries. So he's kind of changed the dynamic of their side, who didn't have a genuine spinner at the start of the season.
Obviously, he played the first game and for some reason didn't play for good 6-7 games after that, which is again beyond me, because as a wrist spinner, you expect wrist spinners to be a little more expensive, but by nature wrist spinners are wicket-taking aggressive bowlers. So that was kind of a defensive move, but as you rightly said, ever since they've started showing a little more faith in their spinners. Look at their returns last 4-5 games when they've gone with Swapnil and Karan Sharma. I think they've played the last 4 games, both of them together, and it's kind of, done well for RCB.
Quietly making an impact, Swapnil Singh.
Very quietly, and he's and it's also very surprising because he's someone who hasn't bowled a lot with the new ball, because when he was playing with Baroda, in fact he didn't bowl a lot because Krunal Pandya was the number 1 spinner there, so he hasn't had too many opportunities. So he made his name as a batting all-rounder. So it's good to see him make that give bowling a little more push, and certainly with the new ball, that wicket up front with Prabh Simran Singh certainly set RCB up very nicely.
Usually it tends to be a hindsight call, but in this case we can say that it wasn't a question of hindsight. Even when we saw Punjab's team, we felt that Harpreet Brar not playing this particular game, given his matchups against RCB, given how well he'd been doing, given how much RCB have struggled against left-arm spin, was a problem. And now, especially seeing how spin performed in the second innings, that decision only looks so much worse.
Yeah, it can only come down to the amount of wickets he's taken throughout this tournament, I guess, if they were really looking at leaving him out for any reason. I think he's been sensational for them throughout this tournament. He's put the handbrake on more often than not when they've been under the pump, and I think you only got to look at the numbers. I'll repeat them again. I think it's going to 7.55. The last game he played against RCB, he took 2 for 13, playing against a side that has got the second slowest strike rate against left-arm spin.
Left-arm spin.
119. Plus, as you alluded to, he got Patata and Glenn Maxwell out. And Patata has been destructive against spin. So there's a lot of positives. I'm sure Bra was thinking that he was coming into this game and he was a sure set starter. And then for not only that, for him to be left out, Rabada to be left out. And look, we from the information we've heard, we're suspecting that it was a decision to play an extra batsman, which alludes to the fact there was a knee-jerk reaction to them not getting enough runs in the last game. And to leave Rabada out is, to me, if he is injured, and we're wrong on that, then to not play Nathan Ellis, who's a high-quality international T20 player and played well for them last year, just for me is just so confusing. And what it shows me is that there's too many conversations being had behind the scenes over things that should just be moved on from and just play your best side. And that wasn't their best side tonight.
That bit on Harpreet Brar, I hope, answers your question, Devanga Sharma. Although it wasn't really a question, he stated Harpreet Brar's how much of a case Harpreet Brar had to play and then finished off by saying just Punjab things.
Well, Harpreet Brar, I don't know, I'd love to know your guys' thoughts on this. I think he's been one of the best finger spinners, like local in particular, in the whole competition.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so there was this span of 5 games when he went wicketless, but he started picking wickets again, right? And he was bowling well. Last couple of games, he's picked up wickets. He's bowling well, like you said. I think it started the season with an economy of 7.2. Those 4-5 games he went for a few. It's gone up to 7.5. Even you take 7.5.
100%.
And you take all the matchups. We keep talking about how important matchups are nowadays with all these analysts and everything. You know, you have a support staff of 8-10 people, you know, with all the computers and laptops out. I mean, it's just beyond me how you can't see this, how you can't see these numbers. I mean, you don't need analysts to tell you that RCB players, they struggle against left-arm spin.
Yeah.
And it's not just left-arm spin. You've got one of the better ones this season in your side.
Yeah.
We're not just saying any left-arm spinner.
No.
Right? We're talking about one of the better ones.
Yeah.
Right? So, it's kind of beyond me.
Yeah. And he's the one who's bowled fearlessly to the likes of Shivam Dubey, Rahul Tewati and the domestic
That game that he picked up, Shivam Dubey.
Punjab won the T20 competition for the first time ever.
Right.
And Harpreet Brar played a massive role in their win, the title win in the domestic season. So he's played a big role coming into the season. It's not as if he's come in on the back of not much cricket. So he's played a lot of cricket, won Punjab games, won them a title. And he's done it against left-handers as well, where traditionally you'd believe the matchups will not suit him.
And that's where you've got to ask this question, because if you look at, again, Punjab Kings teams for last 7-8 years, the squad's good. You look at those players there, they have a good squad almost every year.
Yeah.
But then that consistency in selection, retaining players, investing in them, I mean, there has to be something that's not working, because, again, those players, when they leave Punjab, go and play for some other franchise, they do really well, because the quality is there. They've got to find a way, because, I mean, it's just strange with so many good players in that squad.
And even then, if we have the numbers still of Rabada against Virat Kohli, who's one of your key wickets.
And Faf.
Got both Kohli and Faf 4 times.
Yeah, those are fantastic numbers. They're like incredible numbers. So even knowing these are just we just scrape the surface, right? When we're looking at this, we're not the analysts in the team digging around this. Those are incredible numbers, and these are the things. These are the advantages you've got to try and capitalise on when you get up to a team, and that's why yesterday when we're going through, I picked Punjab to win because there was too many positives on the Punjab side as opposed to matchup wise compared to RCB.
Just to add to that, the conditions, right?
The conditions.
I mean, there is pace and bounce. It's good batting surface. There's pace and bounce. Generally, if the conditions are overcast, which it was today, it does a bit. There would be some help lateral movement wise. So, I mean, and if there is any help, I mean, you've got to back Rabada to, back those numbers.
And we spoke about it in the pre-show. It literally just looked like, this is like, when watching from the outside, right? Like, we keep on talking about the most successful teams in the competition. Don't make rash decisions. Just because of what happened in the last game. They don't panic. They roll the same side out. They get a period of consistency. And this is a time where Punjab Kings were in a position where as soon as they had to win a game, all of that clarity that we'd seen previously throughout this season went out the window. And we see 4 or 5 or 3 or 4 knee-jerk reactions based on one bad performance with the bat.
Yeah, and just to wrap that point around Harpreet Brar up, if you take a minimum of 20 overs bowled, there are only 4 bowlers who have a better economy than him this IPL. That's Bumrah, Narayan, Jadeja and Akshar Patel. That's the league where he's been operating. And that reflects itself. Our viewers are quite baffled too by the decisions. Lots of comments around Rabada, around Brar, Livingston, Mustabir. You bring up Livingston should not have been brought up early, which is something, which is a point the guys touched upon. Lots of questions around Patidar and Kohli. You can find all of that covered in the halftime show. Mitch, Deep and Shashank shared their thoughts on that. But there's an interesting one on Kohli, which comes from Southwick. Is Kohli a contender for opening for India in the T20 World Cup, given how good he's been going this season?
Definitely, he's an option, and a very good option at that. But then, when you have someone like Yash Jha, I know this IPL season he hasn't scored a lot of runs, but at least personally speaking, I still want to go with Rohit and Yash Jha, Virat at 3. And then obviously, I mean, for me, in this format, openers are fixed, and after that, it's situation-based. If you really get a good start, 8 overs, 80 or something, then get Surya in or someone else, maybe a left-hander in if there's a left-arm spinner. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to back Yash Jha because he's a proper match winner. He is a really, really good talent. You got to back him.
I think 5 or 6 games ago, I probably was a bit nervous about Virat at 3, and I know a lot of people will jump on that and just go, and I would have probably said there's probably more of a case for him to open. But what I've seen from Virat Kohli in the last 3 or 4 games, 5 games, in terms of the way he's played spin, you spoke about it at the halftime show, you spoke about that bringing that sweep shot back, that slog sweep back, his intent has been superb. So I think a lot of those concerns about that middle phase have definitely been tempered.
And if you look at the template that RCB's got, I think that's roughly, in terms of usage of Virat, that I think it's what India's going to try and do as well. Somebody who is the sheet anchor, but goes at 150. And then you have everyone around him. If you look at the other batters around him, Rohit plays like that nowadays. So does Yash Jha, so does Surya, so does, let's say, Rishabh. So he can be that fulcrum and everyone kind of plays around him while he still goes at 150. The others come and play those cameos. And then one strike rate of 150 is 170. 170 game, right? Add a few cameos there, that 170 is 200 then. I mean, that's how I think that, I mean, it should be kind of be the template.
Agreed.
I mean, the experts have said it all, but I think it's a delicious prospect because it potentially brings in the opportunity for even Shivam Dube to feature in the lineup along with Hardik Pandya, which you'd think may not be possible if Virat doesn't open, because then you've got at number 3 you'll have Virat, and then you go into the middle order, Hardik Pandya, there's who else at 4? Surya at 4.
Surya.
So that makes it difficult to play Dube at number 4, number 5, which he does at CSK. So Kohli opening the batting throws open the possibility of playing Dube and Hardik. So while it's a very delicious prospect, I mean, Jaiswal hasn't done his chances any harm with the way he's played over the last 1 year.
Yeah, for me, I think I'll play Shivam any which way. I'd rather have, because it's important to have somebody who's in form. I know Jadeja scored some runs in the last game, but last year or so, he hasn't been as consistent as we would like him to be. So is the case with Hardik. So you've got to have someone like Shivam in there. So I'm going to have Shivam there along with Hardik and Jadeja, and going with 3 out-and-out bowlers. So 12 overs from them, and then 8 overs between Jadeja, Hardik, and maybe Shivam.
So what does your lineup look? Jaiswal and Rohit at the
top? So
Rohit,
Yash Jha, Virat 3, Surya 4, Rishabh at 5, 6 Hardik. This is obviously flexible. 6 Hardik, Shivam 7, 8 Jadeja, 9, 10, 11 Bumrah, Kuldeep, and maybe Arshdeep.
Excellent. We're back to the World Cup. It comes around ever so often. Right, let's get back to this game and let's wrap the lid on RCB's win over Punjab Kings with our rapid-fire review of the game, the last game we saw in Dharamsala for this IPL. I will start with you, Deep. 450s in the last 6, a strike rate above 200. How instrumental has Rajat Patidar been to Bangalore's turnaround?
I think massively. The way that Rajat Patidar has come along in the last few games, manifests in how the top order batters are batting, the openers are batting. You see Faf going quicker or playing more aggressively. You see Virat playing more aggressively. I think that's made a huge difference. And not just that, with him in the middle order, the oppositions are also worried about the spinner aspect. Getting a spinner early or whatever, because Rajat is there and he's tracking at about 230 against spin this season.
Mitch, what was the most impressive aspect of Virat Kohli's knock today?
Tempo was great. He kept on accelerating. He started off against the new ball, which was a little bit challenging, and then really kicked on. And what I liked is he didn't slow down towards the back end of his innings as well. He wanted to get that total to 260, 270.
All right. Shashank, was Russo's wicket the turning point of the game?
You'd think it was. I mean, it certainly derailed Punjab Kings of momentum because he was going great guns. Probably the first time this season you saw him bat with the kind of authority and fluency that he can bat with. And especially after that start Johnny Bairstow gave them, Russo certainly took the game on and went after the bowlers, especially Siraj. So I think that was a massive turning point, yeah.
Mitch, was it the wrong move to leave out Harpreet Brar?
Yes. How many times can I say yes in 20 seconds? Absolutely, it was the wrong decision not to play him. Everything statistically said that he was a great matchup. He performed in the return fixture in Bengaluru, so I think he should have been the first name on the team sheet.
Deep, is Jitesh Sharma among the biggest underperformers of this season?
Yes, because for me, I think I had really high hopes from Jitesh and how he performed in the last year or so. Even playing for India, he's played those really important cameos. Might not have got a lot of runs, but important cameos. So it was quite disappointing to see him this season.
And finally, Shashank, dropped catches or misplaced tactics? What cost Punjab more?
I think misplaced tactics would be a tad higher than drop catches because two guys with matchups against Kohli and Faf, with Rabada and Harpreet Brar, we've spoken about so much. I don't think we've ever spoken so much about him in all our shows put together than we have today. So I think the tactics certainly cost them. Yes, drop catches do happen, but I think the makeup of that squad itself was wrong, and that made a massive difference.
All right, that's rapid fire done. Before we move to Impact Zone, which I know you all are waiting for, let's see how you've worked on the assignment.
Ooh.
Virat Kohli, 17.3, that shot, define it. I feel like there are a couple of students here who haven't
forgot about the assignment.
So Shashank, we'll start with you.
That's why we grew up.
I don't know if you want a sentence. I'd just call that love poetry. Virat Kohli writing love poetry. He didn't want to bash the ball, so he just, with oodles of love, just, put that away. So, yeah, love poetry. One word.
Don't even try now.
Yeah.
Don't even try. Yeah, no. He has done it. He has finished it. He's nailed
Thank
it.
you,
That was poetry. And we loved it. Thank you, Shashank. We'll add some points to your season tally. Now, let's get to the Impact Zone. Landslide? It got close, but Deep Dasgupta, 3 points. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Virat and Harshal's last over. I think Siraj as well picked up late 3 wickets. That kind of added, I guess. And then Harshal's last over.
That last over from Siraj surely got him out of negatives.
Yeah.
Because it might have been down there. But yeah, Harshal with those 3.
Yeah.
Virat Kohli, leading the impact list and also player of the match. If we just bring up our table again just to see how the others fared. Deep, you can do some sledging. This is where people
that's
let
okay.
go of their chances.
I'm very magnanimous in victory. So
I'm glad Kohli got his 100 today with
points.
the impact zone. 105, well done.
Yeah, at least here he did.
Yeah, it could have been an amazing occasion, couldn't it?
Yeah.
100 in all formats, his 10th in T20s.
That's right.
And then it would have been 100 of the IPL. It looked like at one stage it was all going to be lined up for him, wasn't it? But still, there's opportunity for someone else to get the 100 of the IPL.
You're proving that you did do a lot of homework, even though it wasn't for that particular assignment. Well done.
At least no one finishes in the negatives. I saw last night how Bish was so disappointed.
Oh, Bish watched the show as well, Shashank.
Yeah.
Don't bring it up again.
know-
Good luck going to him next time for sound bites.
Don't check your WhatsApp when we get off the show.
All right. We also saw some outrageous picks landing, so let's see how everyone's fared. Mitch McClenaghan, you do get big points today because you said Punjab will get bowled out. It doesn't happen too often, which is why it was accepted as an outrageous. And this time you get 5, I guess, much more publicly well-received points.
Thank you.
Than the last time this worked out for you and I.
You were close today. You were
Yeah, very close.
Very close.
Yeah, Green picking 3.
In fact, this was a good innings for everyone. Shashank came close too, with Swapnil bowling the way he did in the power play. So well done all of you, and well done RCB. We will just confirm once again what this result means to the points table. Punjab Kings no longer in contention for the playoffs. They join Mumbai Indians. But RCB, not just those 2 points, but also a jump to their net run rate. They were in the negatives, but they now move to 0.21, which gets them a little closer to Chennai. And CSK are the team RCB are hoping and praying start dropping their points before eventually both those teams finish up their season against each other next weekend. Lots to play. This is 58 matches done. So much more and so much riding on the next few games. This is where we call it a night. Thank you so much, Mitch McClenaghan, Deep Dasgupta, Shashank Kishore, the same crew who will be back on Friday evening to help set up Gujarat Titans versus Chennai Super Kings. So be sure to join us then on Maruti Suzuki Arena. Presents ESPN Cricket Info Timeout, powered by JBL. In the meantime, download the ESPN Cricket Info mobile app if you haven't already. It'll have you covered with all the post-match reactions, all the analysis from RCB versus Punjab Kings, as well as the build-up to Gujarat versus Chennai. See you tomorrow. Thank you so much for your company.
All new hot and techy Brezza, the Citybird SUV.